however you want to pronounce it. Call me what you will. Had a good flight here, had a good time here yesterday, for those of you who were here yesterday. What I did yesterday was just open up the floor, answer some questions, and generally just chat. If you wanted to ask me a question, just put your hand up, but be loud and clear when you're asking it, and that way I can hear it. Also, that guy at the back who's talking with his son right now will also be able to hear it. He has no idea, he's just being spotlighted there. He's still checking with his son. He's reading the paper. Is that the racing card? Still reading the paper. I didn't read the paper. Yes, sir. Is there any part of Dr. Bashir's personality that is alien to my personality? Good question. I don't know. What do you think? Yes. I'm actually getting married. You know, I've had a son, and it's an unusual order, I know. So strange way around. But Dr. Bashir certainly hasn't achieved either of those two things as yet. The only steady lover he's ever managed to hold on to, he lost to Ron. Something wrong about that picture. Something unusual going on there. I still don't understand that, and I don't think Chase does either. I tried to talk to her about it, but she said, "Oh, never mind, you wouldn't understand." But that's the reality. There are a few aliens to me, but a lot of the character of Dr. Bashir is very much like me. Something I can't help. He looks exactly like me. What's wrong with that? I didn't know this was anything. There was someone who's handed up. Yes, sir. What a great voice. I like that. The perfectionist and the brilliance. Of course, they're part of me. I mean, I brought those all to Dr. Bashir. No. Perfectionism, I'm learning perfectionism right now. That's something I'm learning. I know it sounds weird, because it's something you might be born with, but I'm actually learning to be a perfectionist with my son and the new house that we have together in Los Feliz in Los Angeles. There's stuff around the house that I just have to get done. You know how it is? You get into whether it's the garden shed or the garage or making sure there's somewhere to put. It all strikes me that I'm looking back right now, it's all stuff that kind of suits me really well, and not much that suits the now really well. Like I build a garden shed, a garage for the tools, and make it easy to get my car into the garage. I have to think about that. I'll go back and do something quite annoying. I can't profess to be as brilliant as Dr. Bashir, I have to say. Yes, sir, right in front of you.
When do we get to see another episode of Our Man is Here? Oh, yeah.
Well, you mean like a new episode altogether with Our Man Bashir and Paul? I was telling the crowd yesterday that we got sued for that. I'm sure you know that. It's been buzzed around. But the Bond people sued Paramount for doing that show. Yeah, it is laughable because of the fact that what have they got to be worried about? How could they possibly be so frightened of a Deep Space Nine episode that somehow people go, "Oh, there's a new Bond movie on this week. You know what? I'm going to sit in and watch Deep Space Nine." It's just not going to happen. But Paramount had to pay $100,000 to the people at James Bond because obviously they had flagrantly used the same stuff and they really couldn't bring it out. And so we can't do any more of those, unfortunately. Yeah, it's true. I love it. I mean, I love the Beretta and the dinner suit, and it's an incredible thing that Bond can do that no one else can. He only needs to say hello to a woman, and she desperately wants us to kiss him. It's a weird thing, a weird chemistry. It can only really work on TV. And there've been years when I was a teenager, I was sitting in bars meeting, and hello, and the woman would just go. Kind of sad. Years before I met the now. Yes.
You saw me out last month in Virginia. You said you were taking the kids. Is
5-year-old son, and I took his friend Sam. So Sam and Buster and I went to Disneyland, and Sam's friend Sam was given $20 by his father. And it's something we don't normally do, is give Buster money, because you go and buy something. You can't buy something hideous. And his tastes are radically different to his mother's. She'd rather he had something really lame, you know, like a sweet Barbie doll. But he comes home with a street shot to kill everybody with it. He will pick up a stick off the ground and shoot you before you can say hello to him if you've never met him before. He will take a banana out of a fruit bowl and begin shooting people with it. An apple he'll get bored of halfway through, shoot people with it. Somehow he has time to make everything into a gun. But anyway, Buster and Sam went to Disneyland with me. First thing we did, we went to see Mickey Mouse in his house. I don't know if anyone's been to Disneyland in LA. Apparently it's not as good as Disney World in Florida. I've never been to Disney World in Florida. So we went to go see Mickey Mouse in his house, and they were all very excited about that. Mickey Mouse was a little bit, I guess, ruffled by the fact that the doctor from Deep Space Nine walked in the room. He was like, I think they're told they actually can't talk, so they have a kind of thing. And then you all the little kids, you go, poof, takes a photo, rather much like you. And the whole string of them, then suddenly Dr. Bashir came in with 2 little kids, and he's like, And in a thick Brooklyn accent, my God, it's Dr. Bashir. That kind of blew the whole spectacle for the children. Immediately, trying to get me to sit on the kid's lap. In your dreams, Mickey. So, we did that. We did another ride, which was, oh God, there's a ride that's, cartoon, Toontown. It was a movie called Toontown with bugs, or a character like Bugs Bunny, but he did Toontown. And they were Roger Rabbit. It was a Roger Rabbit thing, and the line at Disney was about an hour and a half, literally an hour, a 5-minute ride, and an hour and a half on the line. And the kids twigged to this immediately. After about half an hour, trying to keep 2 kids amused in a line that keeps on sneaking around. They have a horrible trick at Disneyland. You walk in the front door, and you see the line. There's about 40 people in front of you, and then you're going to get on, and you're going to go whisking off, and it's going to be great fun. And for some reason, you're just pulled inexorably towards the right, and you get sucked into this cavernous place, and suddenly you see 6,000 people on the line, which is totally hidden from you. You can't see that from the other side. Oh, boy! But by this time, you're already waiting 40 minutes to get inside the door. So it was like, is it worth getting out now? Or should we just stay in line and maybe it'll go quickly? It didn't go quickly. An hour and a half, we were in this line. The kids were so angry that they never went on another ride. That was about 11 o'clock in the morning. We left at 6 o'clock in the evening that day, and they didn't go on another ride all day. They would not stay in the line. They spent their $20 in the Disney shop, and one of the things that we sold was street shops. So they both got a street shop each, and they immediately went to a nearby flower bed, which I didn't stop them from doing. Pulled out all the flowers in an immediate area, threw them at each other, and started playing street shops in the flower bed. We did that for 4 hours. I was kind of just like sitting there. The parade came and went. They didn't even watch that. They were right in the parade. And they both learned, which they thought they could say in my presence. I don't know how many children there are here today. There are any little children? Probably are, so I would say. But they both learned a really heavy word, which is a 2-syllable. Starts with D, and the next half bit starts with H, and that's my head. So they were calling each other D-head. D-head, D-head. And some kid at school had taught them this word, and there was, I of course have to be blind to it, because I'm just a stepfather to me. I can't afford to ruin my relationship with Buster yet. But of course I get my commands, because I know he's going to say it back at home, and his mother's going to hear it, and all hell is going to break. What? You can't say that. You can't possibly. Did you say you must have said that? And like all mothers, it's like, who taught you that? Which little boy taught you that? And of course Buster's like, well, great, I can blame someone else. Tony, I'm going to talk to the school mistress about Tony, and Humphrey goes in there, if I weren't an actor, what would I be doing? And what was my first acting film? If I weren't an actor, I would be, God, I don't know. One of the things I did before I acted was I was an insurance salesman. Has anyone ever heard an insurance salesman? No one's going to admit it. But I was an insurance salesman in London in this poky little office, and I had to wear a suit, and I bought the suit. It was huge. I still had the mentality that might grow into it. I was 18. And I think 18, I left university and did insurance sales. It was my first thing. My job was to look through the phone book. I don't know if anyone's ever done this. I'm sure people here have. What I did is look through the phone book, pick numbers at random. Only women. I was told, yeah, only women. And for some reason, I was hoping to find secretaries who were in charge of a big company. And I was meant to drill them about talking to their boss. I wanted to get through to their boss to sell them insurance like hell. And instead, when they said that finally, really, I couldn't speak to their boss, I was meant to try and sell them insurance. Because they apparently were meant to be gullible. Well, none of them were. I don't know whether it was my technique, but I sold 2 insurance policies, both of which I'm very proud. One was to myself, and that was huge, and the other one was to my mother. I was there 4 months and was fired, without any ceremony. So I don't know if I probably wouldn't start selling insurance again. Maybe I would. Maybe a lawyer? That's always kind of fun, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe I'd be a lawyer, but I wouldn't be the lawyer that sits in the office and does civil law. I would be trying to be what we call in England a barrister, who is sits and goes to court and fights the case, quite like the front line stuff. I think most lawyers are kind of frustrated actors anyway, aren't they? It's all rubbish. We watched the trial. Go on. Yes, ma'am. As a matter of self-defense. I mean, literally, if you wanted to survive another day on that station with Kira Reese. Great writer.
The Indian station in this state, the episode that I wanted to see this year, the feature.
Can you all hear this? Okay. The idiot station.
Did not show the episode which you will feature, the one with Robert Ricardo. What in God's name happened?
I'll tell you what happened at the end of that episode. The episode is called Dr. Bashir, I presume. And Robert Ricardo and I got together. The original Dr. Zimmerman as opposed to the holographic nonsense. Always say something nasty about one of your colleagues whenever you're talking to people who've done that. Anyway, Robert Ricardo came on with me. My father and mother came. My father and mother had a bad time with me. We had a bad relationship. I hope everybody's up to speed here. It ended basically by the fact that my father admitted his culpability, admitted his guilt, and as a compromise, a classic Starfleet compromise, they decided they were going to send me to prison. And then my father went, no, don't send me to prison. I'll go to prison. No, don't throw him out of Starfleet. I'll go to prison. And my father went to prison for 2 years as a result of all that. I think people were slightly disappointed by the ending, so you're probably happy to. Probably a good thing you didn't see it, because you might be infuriated to a few other people. You still want to see it? Or maybe the idiot station will respond to a couple of idiot letters. Yes, sir.
Just wondering, I really like your old name. Why did you change it? How did you
Here we go. I should really start my talk off by explaining myself about why I changed my name. Tell me what my old name was.
Siddig.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
St. Petersburg. I thought you St. Petersburg.
That's pretty good. Yeah, because they would have to introduce me at some point. And they would leave me till 9. This is Colin Meaney. Colin Meaney, this is the head of Paramount Studios. Colin Meaney is Avery Brooks, head of Paramount Studios. Terry Farrell, head of Paramount. Oh my God. Sarah Compton. Stay up here. Head of Paramount Studios. It's so embarrassing to be always like, this is a sort of, when I first even auditioned for this part, I would get people on the phone to my mother, because at the time I was in Sussex with my parents' house, and I was just in the audition process. Actually after what was known as the audition process, the screening, I was waiting to hear whether I had the job, because I didn't really know. They would ring up, and the cast director very confidently rang my mother and said, "Hi, I'd like to speak to Siddig up the roof, please." So my mother went, he doesn't live here. I don't know who Siddig up the roof is. Sounds like you, it's not me. But that's one of the reasons. The other reason was that my mother, when I was born, wanted to call me half European, half Arabic. Arabic because Islam was the religion in Sudan, and so everything was Islamic names. And so when it came to it, the men in the family were of such strength, if I can put it that way. I don't know if strength is the right word. Tenacity might be a better one. Insisting it was Siddig, her father, as opposed to whatever she wanted to call me, Alexander Siddig. I don't think so. But that was the point. So she was thwarted at that point and was forced to call me Siddig, her father. Because we have a weird tradition in Sudan where the young men are always named after a great-great-grandfather or something, but then that preceded by, after that is their father's name. So my real name is Siddig al-Tahir, who is my father. Al-Tahir is his father, and it goes on and on and on and on. So you know your family tree if you know your name, because you've got all the names in order. Yes, ma'am. Don't ask what I think you're going to ask. Don't ask until I give you my whole name, because I can't remember.
Being an actor, when you watch the movies, do you critique what you see on the screen?
All the time.
And do you get yourself in that situation where all of it does like that?
I try not to do that. Do I critique what I see on the screen as an actor? And then do I see myself, then I go, do I try and see myself in that situation and go, well, I wouldn't have done it like that. I can tell that it's rude, what you say. No, what I do is I always critique when I see other movies. I can't help it. I'm always critiquing other actors, what they're doing, the director, what I think he's doing, everything. I write down to the carpenter, that nail isn't in properly. I say, is there else? Falling over that. I do that, but what I never do, if I can help it, is try and put myself in that position. Because once someone else has done a role on a film, particularly, it's done. It's over. Don't put yourself there. No point. I could have done it better. There's always that gag about how many actors it takes to screw in a light bulb. I think it's like 400. It's like one to screw, do the screwing, and the rest to go, I could have done that. Yes, ma'am. Has Star Trek ever thought about doing a crossover with Babylon 5? I think we'd all be very confused. Wait a minute. This looks like our station. Wait a second. Isn't this our storyline? Hold on. Are we exactly the same show? Babylon 5 people would be, it was our idea. Well, we would be at first. Well, you stole it from us. Well, we have more money than you. I'm sure I could get sued for saying that. I don't know. Paramount would go, hey, in front of 300 people in Cincinnati, you said those things. I don't know. I'm at fault. That's what it was saying. I'm not sure. Yes, ma'am. You like to backsex my name? Do we ever see Alexander with son? Oh, Hawk's son, Alexander. Goodness, I've forgotten about that. Yeah. in a show. Unfortunately, I have a son, and I never got to see it much and all that. I haven't seen any build up to it. I know the big deal that's happening on our show is there's going to be a huge war at the end of the season. There's a cliffhanger, and thank God, for the first time ever in Star Trek, well, at least by my standards in Star Trek, when they say they're going to do something, they actually go ahead and do it. You know, normally they were now we're at war with the Klingons, and then the next show where Disney they're going to start, the Klingons are supposed to be arriving, we're going to see it again. We were at war with the Klingons that show. But this show coming up, we definitely are at war. And I know that the media has something to do with it, and I know that it's a huge axis. It's a huge allied situation. Every different alien nation that the media managed to take over are suddenly at war. And of course, the world with their entrance into the quadrant, and we are right in the middle of it. So I believe that's going to last for, 6 shows. Cliffhanger goes on for 6 shows in the next season. So it's fun. So we really go to war. Finally, it's when we just kind of quick in, and it won't be just a simple cliffhanger. It'll be a cliffhanger with a serious situation in it. And I don't know. I can't let obviously too many details go, although the spoilers will be all over the place anyway. But we get split up, and a few people end up one place, a few people end up one other place, and huge. Anyway, Nana tells us she was doing the scene in the middle of in shooting. I was the doctor, of course. All I was doing was preparing surgery with chaos, but she was also doing stuff. And she said it's a chilling moment in even shooting the show that we did the last show, when she saw not just a few of the enemy soldiers, because normally they can't afford to hire people to come attack the stage. Well, you can afford 5, we'll take 6. But she saw like 100 who coming right. So anyway, it should be fun. I don't know, but that's. I think that will take away from the chance of meeting Alexander Wolf for a couple of. Wasn't it Wolf's second name? I guess it was Jenko. Okay, Alexander Jenko. Sounds weird. That's Polish name.
Russian.
Russian. His parents are Russian. Well, his human parents are Russian. His foster parents are Russian. Okay. It's kind of confusing to me sometimes. Honey, we just adopted a kid. Come here, Will. Come on. Yes, you were being held up by your son.
Who's your favorite co-star?
Who is my favorite co-star? Just filtering through now. Yeah. My other favorite co-star on the show is Andy Robinson. I always like so. I live to work with him. Unfortunately, I haven't worked with him as much as I'd like to. Somehow he's gone off. Is this your question, young man? Was it your question? You got your dad to ask it? What's that you got on there? Oh, it's a triple! Fabulous. Fabulous. It's a speaking triple. Is it sweet? Oh, okay. That's a bag. Oh, that's the other triple. I have a triple. We had on the show, Tropical Triples. I have a lot of them actually. The dogs ate about 18 of them. I just thought it was an extraordinary attraction to the triples we had. And I bought them all back thinking it would be great for charity. And the dogs ravished most of it. I got one slightly sneaky one, which I'll bring on to our auction. The dog did get at it. And it's slightly ripped on the upside. I don't know whether that's the upside or the underside. But I'll bring it along to the auction. Yes, sir. You're going to have to shout it out. Yes, it was my alter ego. Siddig directed that show. Yeah, business as usual show. And I had a good time, thanks. I had a good time. It was a great fun to work with Armin. Unfortunately, for those people who aren't devotees of the show, he always gets the first time directors. He got Renee's first show, he got Annie Robinson's first show, And they always wrote them on Army for some reason. And when he got wind of the fact that I was to direct his first show, he nearly died. You know, I've got to wean another little puppy. So I can really exercise my full power as a director when I got to gig. Maybe do somersaults when he shouldn't have done. But it was a very good time. Yep. The wedding is on June the 14th in Sussex, which is just southwest of London. I'm getting married to our visitor. Some of the people here might not know that. Well, I said that already today. Well, still some of the people might not know that. The guy reading the paper back in the So we're getting married on June 14th. 12 o'clock. My Hebrew son's name is Django. D-J-A-N-G-O. Do that to him. Actually, the Nana did that to him. I had a name which was Nemo. I thought it was kind of fun. But he really is Django. And the Nana knows these things. Huh? It doesn't really have a special meaning. I think she just loves the name. She loves the fact that it sounds slightly ethnic and it kind of incorporated the situation, you know, with me. And he's got a whole backlog of Sudanese North African stuff to get through by the time he's boy or kid. And he's got a whole American thing to get through on one time, an English thing. You might as well have a name that no one knows where it comes from. I believe it's Gypsy. So that's pretty Django Reinhardt. And we love Django Reinhardt. I don't know if you know Django. He was named after Django Reinhardt, who is a jazz guitarist of note, who was pretty much the first half of this century. I think went up as far as the 50s, started 26. And he'd been in a fire when he was a kid. So the myth goes, not much of a myth, it's been a documentary. And he lost the use of his hand. And in spite of that, he became one of the greatest jazz guitarists of the century. So we love that. We thought, we don't, God forbid, that happens to Django. But the fact that he had that kind of fortitude, we love. Yes?
One comment and one question.
One comment and one question.
Okay, the comment is, have you ever visited any of the Paramount run parks like the one we have in Cincinnati, like Kings Island, operated by Paramount, who has all the Star Trek characters?
Have I visited any of the Paramount run parks with all the Star Trek characters? No.
And the question is...
I mean,
The question is, if you could change places with any other character on the show for one episode, where you would portray another character on the show, who would it be?
Good question. If I could change places with any other one character on the show for one episode, who would it be? I would, flippantly, my answer would be Odo. Because there's going to be that first show where they actually get involved and kiss. I'm going to be one of this. Who's being Odo? Alright, we can come back. But other than that, I think probably... I always want, I know it's weird, but Worf. That'd be kind of fun, you know, I mean, just pure testosterone. I said when he first came on the show that he was going to bring the machismo to the show. And he never quite figured it out. I never quite remembered what the zippity, I called it the zippity machismo. This guy, I said that, because they interviewed me about, what do you think Worf was going to be like on one of the TV shows, I don't know which one. And I said, well, he's great, he's going to bring a zippity machismo to the show. And every time I see Michael Dorn now, he's like, zippity machismo. And he walks off. And it just happened to be a zippity machismo. Anyway, so I wouldn't mind doing that. It'd be kind of fun just to come run and hit 20 people. And get out of there and say, that was dishonorable, or whatever it is. I love that. Other than that, I don't think, I can't answer the question. I shouldn't go on. If someone asks a question about who's the next big character, I'll answer that. Yes, Chewie.
But to get your hair color change, has anybody told you you resemble Malcolm McDowell?
Has anybody told me I resemble Malcolm McDowell since I got my hair color changed? The first day, it was really white. They said, you look like Malcolm. And since then, people have been laying off. I think the weird thing is that I kind of look like Malcolm anyway, without my hair color changed. And a lot of times, if you watch on the screen, sometimes you see these smiles and it's like, whoa, he looks like Malcolm McDowell. It's kind of weird. Till you add it all up. Yes. Oh, you've already asked a question. I'll come back to you. You didn't. You gave me an That was your question. I'm sorry, I didn't answer your half of that question. Just literally didn't want to answer it. I told people when the weirdest thing about it, I went to acting school to learn how to direct, ostensibly. And it's a good place to learn how to direct because you get to learn about actors from the inside out. And then after that, of course I had this, it was largely called a diploma in acting, but I had this diploma in acting. So I could say, well, I'm acting because I've got this diploma. But one of the things that happened naturally is you get hired for doing, it's all right, let us scream, it's fine. It really is. Like, but I get it, believe me. No way you're going to avoid that right now. It's going to happen. Especially when he wheels out the acting story. She knows it, she's heard it before, and she's bored by it. Oh, geez. But so when I went to the acting thing, there were no Arabs in England, no Arab-looking people in England at the time, at least that's how it seemed to me, because I was the only person around doing the job. There you are. So I got this job as an Arab actor, Palestinian actually, in a political thing where I got shot by an Israeli which they love in England. Anything is sort of keeps politics on it. And it's kind of fun. It's kind of refreshing to do the opposite here, where they try and avoid politics altogether. But that's just I mean, you need feminist ideas, you have to avoid that. No audience to worry about here. So I did that, then I got a part in a film called Dangerous Man. With great fun years and years ago, about 5, 6 years ago. And that went well, and because of that I got the job here. So that was a quick A to B, that's what brought me over here. Does that young lady have a question? Is it a young man or a young lady? Young lady. And while you were talking to me, she's run down the hall and disappeared. Yes. Is this your family? If Star Trek suddenly bottomed out, radically. What would I try to do? What sort of thing would I try and do? What would I do with my life when Star Trek's over is basically your question. What kind of, I might sell insurance. I might have to sell insurance. We have to sell acting insurance. That would be a huge market for that. I'd probably run out of money pretty quick though. I think I'm one of those people who just doesn't hang around. So if I go through a spell of maybe 4 years, I don't know how long I would give it, but I think 4 years is safe. After Star Trek and I never got another job, I would go straight to sort of figure something out. I mean, I would just go, I don't know what I've learned, but I'd learn to be a lawyer or a doctor or something and do it. Because I can't, especially now with Django, the worst thing about having Django is I have to have a job now. That's like a real responsibility. So I can't really afford to sit in my behind very long once I've finished Star Trek. I'm hoping not to have to. Yes? What were some of my manners? Who are my mentors in acting? My current mentor is, not really as an actor because he's just a thoroughly cool person, he's probably Andrew Robinson. But the acting in general, I loved Jimmy Stewart when I was a kid and always had. For some reason, never been able to shake it. Liked him very much. I like Jean-Claude Van Damme. I was wondering how that went down. I think I went very well with the ladies. But he's not really an acting mentor, is he? He can't really go, that's how I want to act. Maybe that's how I want to look. I think that's so uncool. I don't know, maybe people find it sexy. We find it sexy when he does this, like, chop into someone's head and lands in a split position. I feel like I'm one of the Olympic judges who want to go second. I don't actually feel like it's sexy at all. Don't do that. Don't do something like kill somebody with one arm and then land in his face. It's very Nebraska logo to me, and I just don't want that in my Jean-Claude Van Damme mix. Thank you very much. But the other actor who I love James Mason. I don't know if you know James Mason. He's very cool. middle back. I'll get to you, Klingon. I know it's the Klingon. I'm raving about Yeah, I mean, the contract is 6 years. That's what we contracted for when we started. And unbelievably enough, 6 years is spun by now. So we are at a stage where they're going to be going, okay, is it worth keeping Deep Space Nine on? Or should we just bin it? I mean, they can't just manage there are so many political decisions to be taken into account when you're trying to do something like that. Apart from the fact that every one of us actors is going to go straight to the head man's office and go, we want more money. And apart from the fact that every one of us actors is going to be leaving that office going, how did they do? But that's the point. The second season is about 50-50, I would say. I think they're not sure whether they ever made the right move by taking Next Generation on the set. But it's always tricky, you know, while they were just kicking in, they were at their peak, and they were terrific, and they knew they had some movies to do, they thought, well, we can make a $100 million movie, or we can carry the series going. And they probably thought they'd make the $100 million movie because their big income, to be technical, I believe, is from merchandising. So worldwide merchandising is in the hundreds of millions a year is what they get for that. So I think that's what they probably think, well, we'll keep the merchandising going, we'll stop the TV show. For us, there is no movie, because TNT is doing it. If they're going to do 6 movies, one every 2 years, that means they've got another 8 years to go, or 9. And we will be long gone by 9 years. I don't think we're going to see a Deep Space Nine movie. We might see a 7th season. We might see a 7th season. And I think we'd see a Voyager movie before we saw a Deep Space Nine movie. Somehow that strikes me as being like it. It's the ship thing. They love the ship. They have a ship. They have a whole ship thing. I've heard that the latest deal that Rick Berman got with, Rick Berman's the boss of the whole situation. We've got with, forget it. Let her go. Get another one. There's a sale in Los Angeles. Paramount. Rick Berman has a new deal with Paramount. For those people who are really interested in nitty-gritty of all this sort of stuff, all the rumors, to do all sorts of things with the Star Trek name. He's got a deal to do maybe another television series. He's got a deal to do an IMAX film, I believe it's called IMAX. And the IMAX film, I believe, is going to do a crossover. It's going to be it's going to be greatest hits of Star Trek. It's going to have all characters from all different casts made into one little cast. So maybe the Doctor from somewhere, the Thing from somewhere else, the Captain from somewhere else, and all that will be in one ship. That's the plan on the table at the moment. What will happen tomorrow, I don't know. It depends again on who asks for what. So these are all options under the air. I'm pretty sure Star Trek is over at the end of the 6th season, and Voyager, I believe, is doing better and better. So we'll see what happens. That was a pretty long-winded answer to your question, isn't it? You just got your ladies of... yes, ma'am. Shallow question.
I wanted to thank you because you did a really great takeover interview with me on the general. I said, oh, you're going to Cincinnati. I found out about that like 4 hours before I did it. It came out of nowhere, and you were really gracious, and I was so prepared, and I wanted to thank you.
You were the person we did the interview with.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. You're not from the idiot television station, she's Grandma. Great. Well, it was a great interview. It was a great interview. The shallow question is about my hair. Oh, no, I dyed it after I was done shooting. In fact, the story was that the nurse said tomorrow, my hair was out of control anyway. My hair is one of those nightmare hairs. My hair is like the kind of hair that who finds it interesting, I don't know too. But it's hair that goes out. It doesn't grow in kind of cool, like wavy Indian American thing. It goes out. And it's really hideous. But then I was always going, right on, I want to see what it's like long. She had been to me with the whole Indian American thing, and that wasn't going to happen. It started growing out horrifically, but she said, right, tomorrow I have an appointment with you, the hair people. And so I went to the hair people, and they immediately started pasting my hair. She'd organized it all, decided, and she just asked me just the last week, mind being blonde? I was like, Half an hour later, after 30% sprint, whatever it's called, I came out with blonde hair. Strange. It took a little while to get to like it. I'm not even sure I love it now. It's a very weird thing. I've never dyed my hair before. Yeah. Will we follow me or get into I suspect so. We got a huge amount of flack for that. You know that? We got an enormous amount of trouble with the fact that two Stargate officers got drunk at all in life. So I would like to see that. Otherwise, I'm not really sure. I think that would be interesting.
like trying to react to the old Tribbles episode?
What was it like working with the old Tribbles episode? It was great fun. Tribbles episode, we went in the show when we went back. I'm telling you all about the shows, like, I know them and you don't. Okay, what was it like working with the old Tribbles episode? It was one great thing about one hardest thing about working in that Tribbles episode was doing all the stuff, the interactive stuff with Kirk and all that. That was a nightmare because we were just sort of sitting in a place like this, with the blue screen here, and we were just like, did he pass me yet? Can I look away? And Colin's like, I don't know. I think we can walk away now. I think he said this stuff and we can walk away. And then we look at it on TV, brilliant, we all go to that and walk out. It's unbelievable. But at the time we're like, well, maybe we do it now. Okay, let's go. But the good stuff was listening to all the lines, watching, and working on the old Enterprise. They recreated that thing brilliantly, and they made it look so good. And of course, I felt like one of the monkeys. I really did. It was like one of those great hairdos. I had the whole monkey thing going on. And I can act. Let me do that. I'll sing a song. Monkeys, God bless them. I love that. I love the whole Dax, quite a spectacle. She loved that. She was in heaven, wearing all that stuff. She's already 15 feet high. She's got these incredible heels and this ridiculous skirt just full of her neck. The hair, yeah. People on the ladder to comb her hair in the morning. Ow! Just getting the nest out. It was tremendous fun. And I think it was in the end it was a good show. Probably a fitting tribute to the whole Star Trek thing because it needed doing. We needed to actually go back and go, well done, Bill.
When they never showed what happened when you guys brought the Tribbles back. What happened after that? How'd you get rid of them?
We never showed that.
Really?
We never showed what happened afterwards. You must know that by now. There have been so many times when the entire station blew up and next episode we're in the station walking around. Remember when the whole place was in snow and there were animals all over the place and there were like all sorts of nightmares and then next show we're just fine. I said that's why I'm interested in the next season because I think the first time we actually have to deal with the end of the show was finished. We actually pick up where we left off when we usually Babylon 5 did that. It's a great effect. Like, young man with the cap on. Is that a Reds cap? You're a Reds fan? Okay. Just a gap very small talk. Sorry, shout it out. There is. I don't know what it's going to be called. I've only just figured out the last one was a bald movie. I mean, that's how close on the gossip I am. Like, the bald's going to be in the next one. That's already finished. Okay. It's like hot news there. I think it's going to be, I don't know, I know Michael Piller is writing it. I don't know if it's just slightly. Michael Piller is one of the senior writers on the show. And other than that, I have no idea. I'm sure it's going to be fabulous.
Fish?
Thank you.
5 minutes.
Yes, sir. If you think they should combine Star Trek, Deep Space Nine, and the Next Generation, we don't do a movie. And do you mean bring the Next Generation actors onto Deep Space Nine? Or vice versa, take us into the movie? And they occasionally put one of us into a movie, you know, they like just like quickly do a quick. I think Zimmerman was in the last one, and I think Armin was in the one before. So occasionally they quickly shove us on for a couple of lines. I don't think they're going to do anything spectacular. My favourite show that I was on was probably Bond for fun back. It was just really fun. I mean, it's always fun to camp around in funny clothes, but I do that every week. It's always fun to put on real clothes. Maybe that's really good. Yeah. Do I like Babylon 5? I'm really trying to think about that one and answer you honestly. I saw Babylon 5 when it first started, and that's always a bad time to watch. I've lost you. It's always a bad time to watch a sci-fi series because everything's just getting going, it's squeaky, and it's not really time, I didn't like it very much. I guess now I might. I honestly don't know. I don't know I don't know much about it. I occasionally watch it because it comes after our show in LA. They do our show and then immediately Babylon 5 does its hour. I think probably, I think the jury's still out now. I'm not sure. Now, do you think Bashir's going to have a love? I've got this theory that not entertain people that Bashir doesn't have a love life. I think she trusts me that much that she's not going to let me have a love life on the show. But it's unbelievable how, when Lisa arrived, it was like, oh, God, I have a girlfriend. Finally, and then I never talked to her even though I wouldn't see her. I don't think I ever once even kissed her on the cheek at the show. Maybe she kissed me on the head or something. When we went to Rice, it was ridiculous. We had a great time off camera. See, that's what people don't know. The stuff that we do off camera, we don't even do. I think there'll probably be something that I don't know what. I think they're not too interested in sheer sex life. It's a weird thing though, is that they haven't really ever taken it up as a serious issue. Young man. What's my least favorite episode that I've ever been in Deep Space Nine? What's your least favorite that I've ever been in Deep Space Nine? Do you like the passenger? I did that show with a really deep voice. I had to loop the whole thing, which means I had to sing the whole thing with my voice again. Because when they asked me to do that show, they said, oh, we don't want to sound like you. And you must have tried to try to talk to a friend, practical joke on the phone, and try not to sound like yourself. It is so hard. You can think of any other accent, you can drop your voice, mic your voice, your voice, oh yeah, my guy. I'm not really good at overseeing your house, is really fine. But I couldn't do it for that show, so that's probably my least favorite show. But that's the only reason, because I was embarrassed doing it. It might have been a good show. I know certainly that actors like were brilliant, so I can't complain about that. Next one. Can I see myself directing a movie? Yeah. Big gap between that and like it happening. I can see myself doing that every night I go to sleep, but actually waking up is like, no, I'd love to. I'd even like to do a Star Trek movie. That would be a lot. I'd love to see it. That's me wrong. I really wasn't me. That would be kind of fun. But I don't think they trust me with that quite yet. After all, we just started the first TV show, and I'm not even sure how that went, really. Okay, I think I have one more question. I'm going to ask this one more question. Yes. Oh, hello, Miss Brady. Well, you're Miss Brady's daughter. Have I ever taken Django on set? Maybe not will I. The night I've taken Django on set a couple of times. The first time we took him on set was this awful tribute to Star Trek they showed on television. Did you see it? Oh, they wheeled out all the golden oldies from our show, and us and me, and all the rest of it, and they posted it up on stage, and then the other things like that, mugshots. And then we walked on, and they showed people wearing videos. The most interesting about that evening was the clip that the crazy people did. It was hilarious. We took Django to go and see that. And I had the job of being Django Holder. And then I had a cool dress on. So, give the baby to someone who doesn't have a cool dress on, because he's going to get stuck on it. And all different colors. Shirts with all sorts of colors all over. It's fascinating. Anyway, Django seems in there. It's weird. This thing, I'm sorry, I'm talking about my son, so I have to keep going. The weirdest thing, there was a dummy in his mouth. He could be sick, have a dummy in his mouth, not find it interesting or amusing or odd to him at all, or keep on like, pacified, okay, that's it. And sick coming out, it's the most revolting thing in the world. I vomited like that. I used to ask him for sympathy. So I took him to that. He watched the craziest skit, And they did their thing, and we all laughed. It was as good as gold. And as soon as it was over, boom! And I had to rush him out. And I rushed him out at that point and never came back because I didn't dare. It was funny because I was in the dressing room with the baby, trying very hard to look after him, and they were coming in and they said, please, we're going to go on stage, please come on stage. We want you to come, I look after the baby. People I've never seen in my life, like, well, I'll look after the baby for you when I go on stage. Oh, yeah. Feed him at 6. And Elizabeth Taylor, no, Joe Collins, who had come into the dressing room, very funny lady. I mean, obviously very extraordinary woman, but she was like, no, she obviously thought no one was watching, it wasn't with her public.